Welcome, everyone, once again to another hour of Phenomenal You, a very special event created for you and about you. It is about you waking up to the brilliance that you truly be, realizing that you are an infinite being and you're here to make a difference. And you, if you weren't, you would not be on this call. So I'm so excited about our guest today. For those of you who haven't met Grand Master Danadoost, it's just such a pleasure to be able to introduce him to you. So the first thing I want to say is the best way to get the most out of this call is to make sure you're on his call page, which is SheilaGale.com/Danadoost, and that's DANADOOST. And you'll see as you scroll down that you can listen live and also ask a question. And so if anything hits you, just go ahead and we'll be going over those a little bit later on in the show, okay? All right, so let's get going. Grand Master Danadoost, in his quest for, the meaning of life, was suddenly afflicted with leukemia. It was so bad. It wasn't just that. He was having grand mal seizures. He had multiple crushed vertebrae, a broken foot, stomach and intestinal ulcers. He was a mess. Through years of pain and suffering with no favorable prognosis, he actually went back to Iran, his native country, to say goodbye to his family. But by fate, he met and was completely healed by his mentor, Master Ostad Havarande, who showed him his phenomenal healing abilities. Grandmaster Danadoost says he's an ordinary man. I disagree, but he has an extraordinary healing successes, and lots of stories to vouch for that, mine included. Using the Shafaw Healing method, he has healed people with things such as asthma, eczema, esophageal cancer, depression, fibromyalgia, lupus, leukemia, arthritis, mental illnesses, and more. To be in his presence is a wonderful experience. He also is a great teacher of this healing, this Shafaw Healing. Teaches people like you and me this priceless energy modality, Shafaw, of giving, receiving, and transferring energies that heal. Master Danadoost, welcome to Phenomenal You.
Hello, Sheila, the Radiant One. How are you?
Wonderful. I love that name. He calls everyone Radiant One, though, by the way. So, but it's true. That's who we are. Now, before we hear from you, I just want to let people know what happened with me. I met Master Danadoost maybe three or so years ago, and I was doing a little radio show, and I heard these testimonials on my show. I had him as a guest, and I was so moved because I always believe people. I believe people when they say how their lives were completely transformed. So I went and visited him in San Francisco, in Novato, and just to be in his presence was just amazing. I mean, it was just, I could think of maybe one or two times in my life that I felt that, just that calm and bliss feeling. It was a lovely experience, and I remember being so tired as I was driving home. It was just like, I was so sleepy. A couple days later, I was going through a lot of some addiction problems, depression, menopause, divorce, and I called him on the phone, and we did one more session because I was really suffering. And after that second session over the phone, I woke up the next morning, and everything was different. I remember just walking around stunned, like, shaking my head and jumping up and down, going, is this real? I feel good. How can this be? So that is my personal experience with you, Master Healer Danadoost. So, sir, tell us about what Shafaw Healing is.
Can you hear me well, Sheila?
Yeah.
Do I come across clear?
Yes.
Okay. And can you repeat your question for me, please?
Yes. Can you explain to our listeners about Shafaw Healing?
Yes. Well, Shafaw Healing, Shafaw is a Farsi word. It's a word in Farsi, my native language, Iranian language. and it means miraculous healing. So one word really defines what we always try to be instrumental in doing. And so basically, Shafaw means miraculous healing is not an ancient Iranian method of healing. I put it together based on my clairvoyant abilities. In this method, for example, there are a number of areas in the physical body, regardless of why you come to us for healing. Could be emotional, could be physical, could be a formidable disease, or for any reason at all. These are some of the areas that we are going to attend to. And again, as I said, is based on what I see in people, and there is no exceptions. Everybody does that. Like, for example, the area between the navel and the pubic bone is the area that we store our fears and fright, and their agents. And who are the agents? Concerns. So any concern that is set forth for any reason, logical, intuitive, is an agent of fear. So that's one area we always work, regardless of why you come to us, for what reason. You may have headache, but we definitely work on that area as well. We work on the Sacrum Area because I see and I saw, first time that I noticed, people store their insecurities in the Sacrum Area. And guess what? The Sacrum Area is full of bone marrow, stem cells. So over time, especially with age, these insecurities accumulate. And basically, the stem cells, as they divide and multiply, they are in resonance with insecurities. They give birth to insecure white cells, red cells, platelets. All sorts of diseases may manifest, really. And the immune system becomes a really insecure immune system, which means, an insecure immune system is not a bad system, except that it's tired. It just goes up and down, left and right, front and back, trying to prove its worth by attacking maybe joints. So we complain about arthritis of some kind. It may attack to different nervous systems, and then we may call it MS. The accumulation of insecurities in the sacrum area is one of the major causes of all diseases. So we attend to this area. We work on the kidneys. Again, in any and all the schools and alternative medicine and even in Western medicine, they are very important. Also, the major storage area for personal fear. So the abdominal area, especially the area between the navel and the pubic bone, is all sorts of fear. And 80+% of these stuck energies in that area have absolutely nothing to do with you. They could be the fear of your loved ones, friends and acquaintances, world news, threats of wars, what have you. They get simply sucked in and soaked in, and they make home in that area, again causing diseases. Liver, for example, I observe people when they come here, sometimes they are a few seconds late, and they resent being late. And resentment simply gets soaked in to the liver area. Anger is the same. Frustration is the same. They get soaked into this area. So by attending to these areas, as well as attending to the reason why the person has come, maybe the person has a tumor of some kind, at the same time then produces the results that we have been observing here at the Shafaw Clinic. So that's basically what we do. All the students of Shafaw and I, when we work, we have students that specialize in working with animals, for example. We all attend to some of these areas. Some of these areas, we share with four-legged creatures as well. So all in all, attending to all these really charged up areas would create the kind of results that we have had, thankfully. And we can proudly, if pride has any place in this healing process, say that we've been instrumental in a lot of good healings, to the point that, we can we dare call it even scientific. And to make sense of what I'm saying is that, what is the definition of science? Tested truth, observed facts, arranged in an orderly manner so you can repeat the experience. So if we can repeat the experiences of the kind of work that we have done, and some of them are posted, and, we have probably thousands that haven't been posted on the sites or via email, then we can claim it actually is scientific, Judging by the way the Western medicine calls, its medicine scientific, then Shafaw is definitely scientific too. In Western medicine, if a drug is effective like 33% of the time, then they call it scientific. I think our record is even a lot better than that.
Way better.
So, in a nutshell, that's what we do in Shafaw, And, of course, the fact remains that regardless of how powerful a healer you are, and we all do possess these powers, you can only give what you have. You can only give what you have. So if what I have is healing, light, and love, then that's what I'm dispensing. That's what I'm bringing forth. That's what I'm utilizing. And, otherwise things simply do not last. I could go on and on for days, Sheila, but do you want me to?
Well, you can go on and on. Yeah, let's just, in your case, when you were working as a realtor in real estate in California, and my memory serves me, you were filled with lots of fears and frustrations before you got sick.
Yes, well, it was the kind of work that I kind of stumbled upon, is like there seemed to be nothing else that I can do and maintain some of my freedom, and of course that's a fallacy. All realtors know that. You think you can go to work anytime you want to, but some of the clients would call you very late at night and, ask you different questions. Anyways, it wasn't the kind of job I had in mind, and I felt like, I'd really hit a brick wall. It's like, okay, what else can I do? I've been trying to put into use my computer programming abilities, and that wasn't fruitful. People did not hire me, when I came to this country. It was at the time of hostage crises, and Iranians weren't popular, just like they are now. So, villains. We have to have villains. Anyways, so the job that I studied for, I was really good at. I remember when I came to this country, I thought Bill Gates would come and visit me at the airport. I'm such a good programmer, I remember with very primitive machineries, those papers that have holes in them. I wrote a very intricate chess program, and I thought, okay, armed with this, I could find a computer programming job anywhere. And lo and behold, many years later, people would interview but wouldn't give me a job for whatever reason. And it all worked out, of course, as we all know. And finally, after dealing with leukemia, meeting with my mentor, that really healed me of leukemia and hepatitis B, when I met her, everything started to shift. I started to stand my ground. I started to realize that, yes, indeed, I am a partner of creation. I am a co-creator, and I'm a creator. And I can use my creativity into anything. I believed then, and I know now, that once you're good at anything, really good, money follows you like a faithful dog. So, I just became good at what I do. I never advertised. I still don't have a business card. People heal is just the word of mouth, really, mainly 99%. And that's basically how we work. One person heals and talks to his or her family members, and family members have no reason to disbelieve their loved ones.
Right.
So if there is anything wrong, then they come to test to see, if what their loved one experiences has been true or not, and they heal too.
So is it fair to say that accumulation of insecure feelings, personal fears, anger, frustration are a great cause of dis-ease?
Well, they are the cause, yes. And we could take it steps, a few steps back and go to thoughts, and emotions, and how they are created, what is the anatomy of a thought. And, we could do all that, but definitely, looking myopically, just looking at locally, when I look at someone and I see the areas dark and gray and brown, it's a given. If the person doesn't have it terminally ill, the person will. It's a given. If the abdomen, the sacrum, the kidneys, the liver, and and the throat, especially on the right side, they display having these colors, then it's a given the person is about to come up with really horrendous terminal diseases. And sometimes these people come, they don't have it, and that's my best work. I remove so much, I scoop so much of these disharmonies off of this person that the healing room actually gets dark. And the person, when they stand up or they sit up, they really physically feel a lot lighter. And they don't know I really saved them big amounts of, pain, and, that they don't have to go through, and lots of disharmonies. So, yes, these are, at least, on the surface, are the most important things. Just cleansing would do a lot of good. Well,
Master Danadoost, we have over 400 people on this call right now. And we have people from all over the world. We have people from Greece, all over the United States. We have people from England and Ireland and Canada and Sweden. And Annette from Sweden. God bless you. It must be, I don't know, must be tomorrow over there. But she's asking this question. She's been suffering from insomnia, enormous internal stress, negative programming, unrest in the body and mind for 8 years. She's on the brink of giving up. She's tried everything, and she's asking, can your modality help me?
Well, to answer, this Swedish person or person from Sweden has a name that I can.
Yes, her name is Annette.
Annette. Well, Annette, and everybody that has a question similar to that, the answer is yes, and confidently. Yes, Shafaw can help.
Okay. Now, I was wondering if before we, either now or a little bit later on in the call, if we could just do a little, one of your beautiful meditations. You could take us to another place. Would you be willing to do that?
Sure. But, my understanding is, and I feel, the energies. Let's answer maybe a little bit more of the questions so the pool is less. I feel a pool.
Absolutely. And if you could just speak up a little
maybe
more.
Maybe in a minute start, yes.
Okay, and in how many minutes?
Maybe in a few minutes,
Sure.
Let's, if there are questions, let's answer them, and then we move forward.
Okay. So one of the things that you're offering today is an introduction to Shafaw Healing classes. Robin from Mountain Home, Pennsylvania is asking, will it be recorded? Yes. One of the classes will be recorded. One is a live class if you're in the Novato, San Francisco area. And will it give us skills and energies that we can use now to enhance our own healing abilities?
Well, the classes are, these are introductory classes for people to attend to our main classes. In other words, the Shafaw classes have not been offered to the general public yet. We have not done that yet. And the classes have been offered to our ex-patients and people that have been coming or are coming to our clinic, and they are familiar with my terminologies and my way of looking at disharmonies and dis-ease and my way of thinking. So when these people come, it's like they already are oriented to the way I talk and to the way I think, and then I introduce techniques, and knowing that techniques are secondary, refinement is number one. The 2-hour class, in the 2-hour class, right away we may start with some kind of a, energy transmission and getting into gear to send and receive energies, whether it's on the phone or in person. They are going to realize some of my axioms, so I'm going to introduce some of my axioms. Like, for example, we have a famous, depending on whom you ask, famous or infamous axiom 57, which says anything you try to change persists. And we expand on it, so these are basically our anchor points for me to bring in techniques. And would the person, after the class can do some kind of healing? I'm sure, yes. How well, I don't know. It depends on the individual. It depends on persistence. It depends on refinement. Again, as I said earlier, I may share with you a lot of techniques right now on the air. But what is the off behind it? Is it is it ego? Is it love? Is it light? I mean, what is it? Because ultimately you can only give what you have. So, for example, if I were to heal somebody right now and I have great amount of physical pain, then my pain gets transmitted too. So in this class, we are going to mention probably a couple of different ways for the future healers to protect themselves, meaning they do not get the disease of the healee or the individual seeking for healing, and they do not pass on their own disharmonies to the healee. So there are a number of things that we do. We get into meditations. We get into Shafaw chakra system is different than the standard chakra system. For example, we talk about major chakras, minor chakras, and even smaller than minor chakras. These are 5 to 7 rays and beams of light that come together and create this smaller, tinier chakra, which I termed minor chakra, cute term, but they're really tiny and small, and their locations, So depending on the crowd that joined us for the 2-hour introductory class, and their preference, I ask them, do you want me to expand on this topic, for example? If everybody says yes, then probably a good portion of the class is going to be spent on this. It's only a 2-hour introductory class in preparation for fundamentals of Shafaw or year 1, which is a 12-month class, one class each month. And, in introductory, should the attendees or healies want to continue, then they must have partners, meaning they have to partner up with some other people who join and practice on each other, and then I could guide them, how to go further. Well, that's a long-winded question to this answer. I don't know if I answered.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, and by the way, I took the Shafaw 1 class, and it was wonderful. I went up once a month to Novato. Can people do this can they take these classes? Do they need to be live in person to take the Shafaw one?
Shafaw 101. Well,
101.
We are moving towards having basically conference calls or
wonderful.
Yeah,
that's great.
And
that's great because we're all.
Yes.
Sorry, we're connected all over the world. As a matter of fact, we have Rachel from the Czech Republic who's listening. Her question is, her protective mind is making her heart and soul connection difficult. How can I or you or how can we release my mind from its fear, allowing me to connect finally once more with the parallel universes and my soul and soul family? And she says, Namaste.
Hello, Rachel, the radiant one from Czech Republic. Well, that's a question that is true for everybody, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody, if you ask them, ultimately, that's the question. How can we do it? If I were to start giving an answer, it would be, please start by watching your words, what you say, knowing that words are really energies in free form, floating, and then we grab hold of a free form, free floating energy. We forcefully mold them in the molding of a word, and therefore there is inherent resentment in each word, even the word love. I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes when we say love, 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 people really resent that. So looking at the words, knowing that words are really representing symbols, and they are mistaken, for actions a lot of times, most of the times. If I tell you, Sheila, stop, you stop. But the only way you stop is because your parents probably held you physically, said stop.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, then you don't think of those terms. Somebody says stop, you simply stop. So words do have a lot of power in them, but they are mistaken for actions. So when one entertains the chattering mind, going back and forth, any emotion that comes, you try to dissect and analyze and do all that. You're talking to you in words, in the words of your native language. A lot of times, this is really an important topic. A lot of times, people just go ahead, move on, thinking and thinking and thinking some more, not knowing that the thoughts that they are thinking, the thoughts that they are processing, have nothing to do with them. It may not be even your thought. This is a very important topic, Sometimes people, most of the time during the day, a good number of the thoughts that you are processing actually aren't your thoughts. You're processing somebody else's thought that resembles to yours, or maybe even identical with yours, but they're not your thoughts. So the first action is really to come into an agreement and stop talking to you so much, to stop thinking so much. And how do we do that? Then there are techniques that we can apply. But words are symbols. They are extremely powerful. You've seen people who are addicted, for example, to alcohol. They talk very big, don't they? I mean, to them, they really, when they talk, they really mean it at the time. They feel powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, especially people who are good with language and they are very intelligent and they are wordsmiths, they keep on talking. You don't see them do much. They don't do much at all. They just talk. And to them, when they utter words, it's like they are doing something. So the point is that if we can stop talking so much and find the silence in us, and we can offer ways, to start with that process and move on, then things start to really improve. I don't know why, but Muhammad Ali came to mind right now. He was a great talker and a great advocate for social justice. How many people listened to him? People listened to him when he actually couldn't talk. The moment he came with his disease and he couldn't talk, then people start to pay attention. And they could hear him. The moment we actually stop talking to ourselves, then maybe we can actually hear messages. We can actually hear ourselves. We can actually decipher, which thought is mine, which thought isn't. So the first step is really to pay attention, very serious attention to the fact that words are not just words. Words are not just symbols. Words are mistaken with action. So the first step is to watch how you say things and say it as little as possible. And next step is to try to decipher, which thought is mine. Whether you want to attend to your thought or not, that's a different story. But at least we can decipher and sort out and filter out the thoughts that have nothing to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to spend more time on this topic or not, but
yeah, it's great. I mean, I've just been studying something where they say 98% of your thoughts aren't even yours. We're just satellite dishes picking them up from everybody, thinking that they're ours. We have a question from Athens, Greece. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that.
Yeah, lots of static.
I think I'm talking too much. Well, that's going to be a hard one for me, but I'm going to try to be quiet. Yvette asks, what's your method for, can you cure MS? Curtail it and its progression. Yeah.
Okay, Yvette, did you say?
Yes.
What's the name? I'm sorry.
Her name is Yvette.
Yvette from Athens, Greece.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a lot of affinity with Greeks. I like them. What I have discovered, working with different people, including people with MS, exceptions aside, yes, first of all, we can help. I have not yet had an MS patient that continues with the treatment. Somehow they drop out. So as far as my records for healing MS patients, I'm afraid I don't have much to show because they don't continue. I guess the expectation is that, I work 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and they stop. So what I want to see, if I were to work on an MS patient, is that to step up to the plate, agree this is a process. Yes, I want, and this person wants, people who have MS want to heal yesterday. I certainly do understand that. But it may not happen that way. And, last time we offered 2 sessions with me, and one person in particular was extremely angry because she didn't get what she wanted in 2 sessions. There was only one angry person, by the way, just one. And it's like, you've tried everything, you've done everything, you've gone through all sorts of regimens of Western medicine and so forth, and why is it that you get so discouraged so easily, after a couple of sessions? So yes, we can help. I have a lot of confidence I can help a person with MS, but especially from far away, people who cannot come here, it really takes 2 to tango. I want the person with MS. There are a couple of diseases that, when people come to us for help, I ask for commitment because I put my heart and soul in it, and all of a sudden, we have to chase the individual. We keep on calling, we keep on sending emails, even letters, and it's like,
I want to
we
kind of move
do
on.
that. We don't have enough power.
We have so many questions, so we're going to try to have to keep them. I can't get to them all. We have people in Florence, Italy. We have people in Ottawa and Germany here. So Cornelia from Germany is asking, Guten Tag, Cornelia. She's asking, can Shafaw Healing work in this situation? She had a car accident 15 years ago. She has implants on her face, and over the last year she had her wisdom teeth taken out, and she said she feels great disharmony in her jaw and mouth area, and the dentist is suggesting to take out the implant and grow in tooth. I don't know what that is. Her question is on what level can Shafaw work with that kind of?
Well, hello, Cornelia from Germany. I would give it a few Shafaw sessions before you go through any invasive process again. The energies, get mixed and mingled, and all the energy meridians are disturbed, and nerves are misfiring. We understand that. So give it 2 or 3 Shafaw sessions before you do anything.
Okay, great.
I recommend if you could, get a distance session, specific or non-specific, either one that works for you, on the phone, without the phone, however you want, and judge the effect and see if there is room for you not to go through more invasive surgeries there.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, by the way, so just so you know, Master Danadoost, you do not have to be physically in his presence. And when he talks about specific or non-specific, that means you can be on a phone conversation with him or a Skype, or you cannot be in communication at all. And he'll say, at 1 o'clock, between 1 and 1:30 your time, he'll be working on you energetically. I just wanted to read this one. This is from Barbara in Toronto, and she is just writing in that she'd like to express extreme love and gratitude to Grand Master Danadoost. He worked on me a while ago on nodules on my thyroid, and she knows that it was his work and the intervention that had a happy outcome. She is now greatly moved by his love and compassion. She offers you unconditional love, Barbara from Canada.
Barbara, the radiant one. Thank you, madam. Thank you for acknowledging. Thank you kindly.
Yeah. And there's people calling in about allergies, pneumonia, migraines. Debbie in Los Angeles is asking, do you think a distant healing could be successful? For over 30 years, no modality or doctor has been able to help her migraines.
Right. So, let's briefly talk about all the diseases deemed incurable in the Western medicine, like migraine headache, like fibromyalgia, like lupus, Lou Gehrig. These are all, to me, actually doesn't make a difference. The fact remains that there is a disharmony, and do you experience a lot of statics, Sheila?
I can still hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, but there is a lot of statics. Anyway, so to me, to a Shafaw healer, technically, yes, we can help. Absolutely. I mean, when I say help, I'm trying to be modest here and not appear as egotistical. Yes, we can.
Okay, we're having a little bit of technical. Let me just double check here and see if everything's still going right. Hang on one sec. Just checking the internet. Okay, we're still good. Whew, I thought we got cut off there. So can we, there's just so many people that are, right now more than ever going through tremendous fears and pains and upset and physical, mental, financial. So what would you say to these people? And then we'll talk about Shafaw too. And I want to do, time is going by so fast. I'd love to do just kind of, if we can pull everyone together and do a nice little meditation, that would be really great.
Okay. So is there a question before I start the meditation or not?
Why don't we? Can we do the meditation? Or do you want some more questions? I actually have some people on the line that want to ask a question, but that could take a lot of time. So.
Okay. All right. So I guess we do a few minutes of meditation together. If everyone.
Yes. That would be wonderful.
And, when we come back, as you said, we're going to talk a little bit about Shafaw 2 and the difference between Shafaw and Shafaw 2.
Yes.
And hopefully some of the people that have experienced in the past year Shafaw 2 on the phone or in person can join us and share some of those very, very beautiful testimonials that they have given us in person on the phone. I hope they can join us and do that rather than me, paraphrasing and quoting them.
Yes, that would be great. And just to let our listeners know, if you have worked with Grand Master Danadoost or done Shafaw 101 or Shafaw 2, you just hit *2 and I'll unmute you after our meditation. Okay, so here we go. You can take it away, sir.
All right. Okay, so shall we start?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's inhale, please, slowly. Let's inhale and stretch, please, the time of inhalation. So focus, please. Focus on the sounds, and echoes of your existence. Focus on your breath and breathing, and as you inhale, stretch the time of inhalation. So take your time and expand the chest, the diaphragm. Give your precious hearts more room. Inhaling slowly and think of your heart. Just stay with the rhythm of your heart. Maybe you can hear her. It's a she. It's a wonderful major she collective consciousness. Maybe you can hear her, or maybe you just feel her. Either way, think of the sounds and echoes of your own breath. Think of your heart, this wonderful major she collective consciousness, and in your own native language, just ask her to slow down. Slow down. Slow down, dear one. Thank your hearts, please. You may say, thank you, dear one, radiant one. Won't you please rest and slow down? We are safe, in good hands, protected, provided, and we always will be. So inhale, please, slowly. Expand the chest, the diaphragm, and please raise the muscles of the abdomen. We call this kind of breathing Shafaw breathing, even though you might have been doing it yourself. So inhale, please. Expand the chest, the diaphragm. Give your precious heart more room. Raise the muscles of the abdomen. Think of your favorite smell of freshness, hopefully being at your favorite part of the nature, sunbathing. And as soon as you start to thinking of the smell of freshness, the ancient brain of yours rests. Another name for the ancient brain is the limbic brain. The limbic brain contains the hypothalamus gland and the pituitary gland. So inhaling slowly, thinking of the smell of freshness, bringing back to life tens and millions of cell receptors at the base of your nose, right under your third eye, your projectile of creativity. Think of the smell of freshness, and as soon as you start to think it, all these cells that have been almost totally useless come back to life again, strategically located under your third eye. The sense of the smell is governed by the ancient brain, so as soon as you take initiative to think of your favorite smell of freshness, the ancient brain of yours rests. The ancient brain is the seat of the subconscious mind. The ancient brain rests. The subconscious mind has nothing at all to broadcast through the loud speakers of the mind. it rests as well. All the implied messages of threat, mostly primordial, coming from way back, from the beginning of time. Slow down and come to a halt as well. Breathing slowly, thinking of the smell of freshness, your favorite, and the ancient brain of yours rests. Part of the ancient brain, the pituitary gland, is in charge of 6 major organs. So when the pituitary gland rests, when it balances, it starts to send signals, like a heavenly beacon, like a heavenly lighthouse. And 6 major organs start to benefit. Inhaling slowly, thinking of the smell of freshness. And as you're thinking of the smell of freshness, remind yourself that the ancient brain of yours is in charge of the sense of smell. So you're dictating what you want to think. It's going to be part of your selective thinking process. Inhaling slowly, and please agree right now, right here, that you're going to have selective thoughts. When you're engaged in your selective thinking process, you stop attending to some of the thoughts, some of which have caused the reason that you've come down with some disharmonies in the past and right now here. Some very serious, some not serious, just annoying. But those thoughts you stop attending as soon as you think of the smell of freshness, the sounds and echoes of your existence, your breath and breathing, the sound of your heart. As soon as you think of the smell of freshness, the center of energy pointing at the space between the anus and pubic area starts to balance. That center of energy is responsible for maintenance and management and survivor issues. It's responsible for maintenance and management of the survivor issues. That center of energy starts to balance too, just because you're thinking, recalling, trying to manifest the smell of freshness, yours. The center of energy pointing at the space between the anus and pubic area, pointing at the perineum area, is also in charge of the adrenal glands. So the adrenal glands start to balance. They start to produce enough of chemical messengers that allow your brain to produce the famous hormone serotonin, responsible for contentment, happiness. Without serotonin, regardless of how wonderful life can be, you can't possibly be happy. All these just because you're thinking, recalling, remembering the smell of freshness, your favorite. Inhale such that you could wish you had lungs 1,000 capacity each. Inhaling slowly, chest, the diaphragm, giving your precious heart more room, thinking of the smell of freshness, and with one breath, inviting that particular smell of freshness. All these 6 major organs and all these centers of energies start to balance. The subconscious mind starts to rest. The ancient brain stops the chattering mind. You can experience, maybe for a few breaths or for a few minutes, wholesome again, just because you're thinking, recalling that particular smell of freshness. And the moment, the day that from the comfort of your home, windows shut, doors closed, you actually smell that particular smell of freshness. You're forever changed. You'll find out that it's so easy to transcend and ascend above and beyond all these planes of realities that have been hurting you. At any given breath, you can maintain the integrity, you can start and maintain the integrity of this very simple process. Being in charge of your thoughts, start to think selectively, and start fresh. Peaceful and kind. Peaceful and kind. Take it very seriously, please. That particular smell of freshness. Your favorite. Rest, please, consciously, in resonance, in conscious awareness of the sounds and echoes of your breath, in resonance and in touch with your heart. This wonderful major She collective consciousness that any and all frequencies that enter inside the wholesome you, good or bad, they have to go through this echo chamber of love, the heart. Even the thoughts that you're processing, before you're able to process, must go through the heart. Anytime fear comes, stop. Turn your face. Think of the smell of freshness. Think of your heart, knowing that you just saved your heart a grieving thought, fearful thought. Think of the smell of freshness very often, wherever you are. Let's start this way. Stepping aside from all disharmonies and just focus on the smell of freshness, the most important aspect of your life, the breath and breathing. Think of your heart and make it a practice. The smell of freshness, like the breath of heavens. Nowadays, the breath of heavens, the plant, is blossoming big time in Northern California, where we are. The breath of heavens, that particular smell of freshness. And rest. And hello, radiant one.
Hello, radiant. I was just in the redwoods. Wow, that's so great. I mean, I literally a week ago I went to the redwood, walked in the redwood forest, and it's just, you know, it never occurred to me to, when I'm going through the fears and the upsets and all the stuff, to just think, you know, to just take yourself to that place where, whether it's the ocean or the woods or whatever it is for you, and just breathe it in, or like the roses that you used to talk about in your yard when you're growing up, Grand Master Danadoost. Wonderful. Now, while we're on the subject of meditation, there's a meditation that I wanted to ask you about. Is it world meditation? What is it?
Meditation of peace, I think, is the one you're asking about.
Yes.
Yes, we've started on that process. I think we had our fourth meditation of peace. It's free to everyone. Last night, so about 10 minutes before the meditation, which starts at 7 p.m. Pacific time or California time, For 5 minutes, I'm open to questions and answers. After 5 minutes, we all go into silence. And at 7 p.m. sharp, hopefully, I start guiding you to bring in healing light and love into you for the first increment of 7. And second increment of 7, we are going to share what we have, which is healing light and love, and in order to be instrumental to manifest peace, long-lasting peace, and also now, not a few years from now.
Wonderful.
So since you asked that question, last night when we were doing the peace meditation, I mistakenly, and I apologize, muted myself. So for like 10, 15 minutes, I was talking and people couldn't hear me. But the good news is that just about everyone that we asked, they said they were feeling the energy. So that's a good thing. But yes.
So how can they get involved in that? And is it every week? At what time? When is it?
Well, for now it's bi-monthly, so every 2 weeks. The next one is going to be 2 weeks from yesterday. And they could contact Mary Grace and get the conference call and join us via conference. And, then we all collectively join and merge, and we all can guess about the power of collective. So it's always helpful if we meditate individually, but it's a lot better and a lot more powerful if we collectively, put our energies together.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's important for us to call. There is no charge for it. There is no conversation per se, unless someone has really important question, which can ask about 10 minutes before the meditation starts, and that's basically it. And from what we hear, a lot of people who have had private sessions with us said that it was just like having a private session.
Oh, I'm sure. So let me just let our listeners know. Again, if you need to be on the call page, which is SheilaShowYou.com/Danadoost, DANADOOST. Click on the special offer button, and if you scroll down, you will see the phone number if you want to get on that wonderful bi-monthly call for meditation for peace. What a fabulous idea! Raising the consciousness on the planet, ending war. Let's do this together. What a great gift. Also want to mention on that special offer button what you're offering, and your Shafaw Sanctuary of Healing Lights is the 2-hour class with Grand Master Healer Danadoost. $97 for this 2-hour class, which is a prerequisite for the Fundamentals of Shafaw Healing 101, their healing training program. It's just a wonderful opportunity to be in the presence of this master healer, and to, just learn kind of, the beginnings of how you can heal, who you really are, the power that you have, and what's next for you, so that, you can work with yourself and other people. I recommend it so much. I've known Master Danadoost for a few years now. Spent a year as a student, and we did a lot of radio shows together, and I'm just so happy to introduce him to the planet now and all the other countries, because back then I just had a little radio show in Monterey, California, and now it's time. And he's never done anything other than just his healing work and it's just such an honor that you let me be the one to kind of introduce you to the world. It's because, thank God for the internet now, because you're such a gift, and why just keep it there in the San Francisco area? So now we're sharing him with you, and boy, an hour went by really fast, but we still have some more time. I wanted to ask you what the difference is between Shafaw 101 and Shafaw 2. Well,
Shafaw is what I described earlier, that, Basically, it gives meaning. Shafaw 2 basically gives meaning to the phenomenal you. The title of your series. It just expedites by removing the stock charges that prevent you from accessing your true self. In Shafaw, I do 98% of the work, meaning, as I'm attending to, let's say, a cancerous tumor, I also am working on some of the centers of energies that store disharmonies like fear, fright, insecurities, anger, frustration, grief, so forth. So I do 98% of the work. And the person gets up and if the tumor has shrunk or is disappeared, it's our experience that as soon as the tumor disappears, the person disappears too. Not knowing that shrinking a cancerous tumor does not mean you've healed. It's a sign that you are going to heal. But it may not be the sign that healing has actually occurred. It could be categorized as curing. In Shafaw 2, we actually, I do not actually address the cancerous tumor. I provide the healing environment for the individual to basically regain his or her power to start releasing charges. And once the charges are released from these centers of energies, I prevent them from coming back. So basically 80% of the work this time is done by the healee, by the person who is seeking help. In contrast to Shafaw, that I do 98% of the work. And we've had people who are going through really rough times with, terminal disease, cancers, and so forth. And they wanted to also give a try and work with me on Shafaw to see if that makes a difference. And therefore, I came up with what we call now hybrid Shafaw 2, which is a combination of Shafaw and Shafaw 2. So we don't lose the track of, physical healing as we are attending to the emotional aspect of healing. So Shafaw 2 is basically allows you to reach the phenomenal you, really, basically. And is offered in series of 9 because as powerful as the results have been, I've had my best testimonial ever in one sentence. The person said, quote and unquote, and I hope she's listening to me and I hope she dials in and uses her own words. But she said, my disease went like a smell. My disease went like a smell. Wow. And to me, that's the most powerful testimonials I have ever received.
Well, we have a lot of people that have questions and want to check in here, maybe some more testimonials, which are wonderful. And mine, just to give it to you again, just mine, that's a great way of saying it, but it was in an instant. We had the session, I think it was around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, 5 p.m., and I just was tired, and I went to bed, and I just woke up, and I was a different person. So that's how quick it was. It was definitely Shafaw, a miraculous healing. So we have, so again, if you're star 2, if you want to talk about what you've experienced with this work, this great Master Danadoost work, Maura in Alamitos. Hi.
Oh, is that me?
Yes.
Oh, hi. This is Josephine.
Can you speak up a little more, Josephine?
Yes, I
louder?
can. Is that better?
I'm going to try to make you louder here, as loud as you can, because you're real quiet. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that I have worked with Master Danadoost doing Shafaw and Shafaw 2, and I would say that my life has improved immensely, and with Shafaw 2, I found that after each treatment, my life just got easier, and I've had a wonderful breakthrough in communication with my son. I think we bonded at a new level during that time, and my social life became so much better and easier. Friends became really better friends, and just a lot of things that I used to have to work at are now easy, and things just seem to come to me. And I really do feel like miracles have happened in my life since I have worked with Master Danadoost. And he's just wonderful and kind and so funny. And he makes me laugh so hard as I've been healing. And I went through cancer, and he worked with me through the whole thing. I went through it so well compared to many people, and I am cancer-free, and I am just, a real fan.
Thank you so much, Josephine. Thank you for calling in, and I really appreciate that. So we're kind of running out of time, so I'm going to try to go through these. Gosh, I wish we would have done this in the beginning. It didn't occur to me. We have a 916 area code. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hello, this is Diane. I just wanted to call and say how wonderful the Shafaw 2 has been for me also. We go through experiences that I can release that usually have control over my choices in life. And when these elements are released, I can make more clear and positive choices, and it makes me a more peaceful person. And it not only affects me, but as the other caller said, it affects my whole family. And I can see just Shafaw manifesting through my children and my whole family. As I heal, they heal also. So I want to thank Master Danadoost so much for that.
Thank you, Diane. And may I ask you a question, Diane? One of the premises of Shafaw 2 is that once we remove the charges in relationship to an incident or incidences, the charges won't come back. Is that a true statement for you?
It has been extremely true for me, yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. How about Grass Valley? Denise? Go ahead.
That would be me. Hi, this is Faye. I'm the one who Master Danadoost quoted, I believe. And Sheila, I would also like to thank you very much for being the divine breadcrumb that led me to Master Danadoost, because I found out about him by listening to your show last year. So I really feel glad to say thank you for that, on what you do. For me, Shafaw 2 was, I had the hybrid version. I had a very, one of those sort of portmanteau all-system illnesses that medical science considers to be incurable and progressive. So, I was headed toward death in a very unpleasant way. And I will never forget that experience when, after one of our Shafaw 2 sessions, the neurological part went away. I was walking up the hill around my house, and I realized it was like having a scent be gone. It's an illness. There's a certain frequency to it. There's a vibration, and you can feel it. And it was just as if that had just dissipated, and I was myself again. It was an amazing experience.
Wow.
I would also like to say that the feeling of Shafaw 2 was a part that I felt was a part of the healing. It's such a beautiful, gentle, powerful feeling. I wonder if any other kind of energy could have worked for me.
Well, congratulations, and thank you for listening to your intuition and doing that for yourself and being a great example and sharing that, and that's going to help other people. So thank you so much.
And may I ask the Sunday, please, again, the charges that we released, have they come back? Are they holding? Are you free from them?
I would say I am free from them. I would also say that I have built a lot of superstructures around them, which I'm still in the process of dismantling. But yes, I think one of the most valuable things that I got was that I no longer identify with feelings that I have.
Thank you kindly, and as I said, your testimonials, and I've been doing this almost close to 20 years, has been the most powerful testimonial in one sentence, without calling me Grand Master Healer Danadoost, without mentioning it has been a miracle. It's just so simple and so powerful. Thank you for that.
Thank you for saying so, and thank you for all you've done.
Welcome.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, well, my precious, precious radiant one, we're just about out of time. I just want to mention again, and of course for you, when I chose to do this special event called Phenomenal You, I chose, a handful of people that have made a difference in my life that I consider the real deal. And they have their different expertises. And you may resonate with this one and not this one. If you resonate with Grand Master Danadoost and you'd like to, learn about healing, energy healing, about how you can help to heal yourself and other people, there is a healer in you. And, we're all have a piece of the puzzle sort of in the awakening of humanity and the planet and turning this planet around. So click on the special offer button, SheilaShowYou.com/Danadoost. And you can sign up right there for the class, the special 2-hour class, $97. You will not be sorry. I mean, it's such a great investment. And I also, ask you, for those of you who have other loved ones that are suffering and need to hear this message, to please go ahead and just tweet and Facebook this call. This call will be replayed, and we're going to keep it up for at least a week, maybe longer, because, the more that hear it, the more we're going to, have that life that we all know is possible. So your final words, my precious, precious radiant one.
The final words. Well, I hope it's not my final words.
Just for, this telephone call, that's all.
Everything, a lot of people that have tuned in, they're having challenging times. And anything that lasts, anything that has been lasting and is kind of perpetuating, we could call them chronic condition or disharmony. In all honesty, you do have an agreement with it. If you can find that honesty in you, please, to realize that, then things will start to improve greatly. And your intuitive self is going to guide you to the right channel of healing. It may not be me, but you will be guided. So just look into, from my point of view, the fact that if there is a chronic condition, there is an agreement with that condition. These are my final words.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for you, sir. Thank you for being a light in my life. And so many.
Thank you very much, Sheila. And as you said, your radio show has helped a lot of people. I can vouch for that. I can really say that. And also, it's been the only radio show that I attended to.
I know. I'm honored. Thank you. Well, I guess we had a past life agreement or something. My brother. Okay,
Thank
my
you.
love to your beautiful family and everyone up there at Shafaw Sanctuary.
Love and light.
Love and light.
Love and light to you all.
Sending you all infinite love and appreciation. Until next time, you are phenomenal. Thank you for you.